Hello everyone, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day and making some really good trades. And yep, oh, excuse me, just burped there. Let's get right into it. That was a bullish burp, so maybe we're gonna have some upside this week. But yeah, right now Bitcoin starting to slow down. It's downtrend here. We are seeing a little bit of a bottoming sign on the 12-hour time frame. 4-hour, we are deep in that red money flow right now. We actually just printed another red dot again, but it didn't really lead to anything so far. And actually, the 1-hour is looking quite good for the time being. We have a nice little green dot right here, and we have a tiny amount of green money flow at the moment. But for me, this looks like we've completed. Look on the 4-hour time frame, looks like we just did an ABC pattern. But on some larger time frames, like the daily time frame, looks like we have just created an A wave. If you look on the 12-hour, looks like the A wave is complete, and that is my opinion as well. I think the A wave is complete for now. But if we do get another retrace, I'd be looking lower at 26,600 for a potential bottom there, and then we could potentially get a bounce back up to as high as 29,500. Now, please remember, if we go higher than 29,500 and we keep going into 30K, then it's very, very possible that we might have found a potential low here, and Bitcoin could be getting ready to make some higher highs again, right? Because right now it looks like we topped out around 30,000 or sorry, $31,000, and we've just had a big drop all the way down to 27,200 at the moment. But if Bitcoin starts to move, it starts to make another leg up towards the upside and takes out this previous high, then you're gonna want to take a look at 32,000 all the way as high as 35,000 for some major resistance for Bitcoin. But if this is not the bottom and we keep dropping lower, then again, like I said, 26,600 is going to be a significant amount of support. And then if you break that low, then you're going to have major support coming in $25,000, which is right here, which is essentially the top of this channel right here, and that's 25,200. That's going to be a big support. Okay, let's take a look at market cipher on the weekly time frame for Bitcoin. And right now we printed a red dot, right? And minus, is it -5? Yeah, it is a -5. So that is looking pretty bearish at the moment on the weekly time frame. So that does not look too good for Bitcoin, right? And I've said this many times, right? Because we have not crossed into the green money flow yet. It is looking very bullish and very promising, but look at that. We have not crossed into the green money flow. We didn't cross here, right? Something very similar that I've said to my Discord members. I've repeated this numerous times, saying you have to confirm, right? And that's exactly what happened. A lot of people were getting into shorts and getting ready for that cross, and I was too. But look what happened. We got a 24% move towards the upside. Now, am I saying that we're going to get a 24% move towards the downside? Not at all. But a 24% move would bring us right around the $22,600 mark. But again, that's just like picking numbers out of a bag. There's obviously a bunch of support resistance levels that have to be taken out before we get there. But yeah, just some food for thought. This is what the indicators are saying on market cipher. Let's take a look at what Wave Edge is saying, because Wave Edge is printing a different picture. On the daily time frame, you guys can see we just confirmed a green cross right on the daily time frame, and historically, like so far during this run up, we've been getting some very nice green crosses after these big drops. So we've seen a big drop, and then you get a green cross, which is followed by a very significant pump towards the upside, about 18% here. And then we got another green cross here, and this one actually printed on the pump as well, but it printed like in the very early stages of the day. It did have that green cross, and you actually got a pump up to, well, I guess if you're going to measure it all the way to its high, then it was a 52% pump. But if you just want to measure it all the way up to here, then it was a 42% pump. But a very good move regardless. Now we're getting another green cross here. Does it mean that we're going to get another 20% pump? Not at all, but a 20% pump would bring us to around 33,000. Another 30% pump would bring us to 38,800, which is, by the way, another target that I have for Bitcoin, which is its gap fill here on the CME futures. Let me just load it up. There we go. On the daily time frame, you guys can see we got a CME gap right here. right around 35,800, and now we got I don't think we have another. Oh yeah, we got a gap fill down here at 20,365. Okay, so I think that covers it for Bitcoin right now. I just want to dive right into the indices. What could be happening this week? Right now, we are opening into the red. The futures are red, and we have some very big earnings coming up right now. So I'll just actually share it with you guys inside YouTube, and it's inside my Discord as well. So feel free to join the Discord. The link is in the description. And we have Coca-Cola, right? Very big company as well. Verizon, UPS, McDonald's, 3M, Visa, Microsoft, Alphabet. Those are going to be the big names to look at. And then we got like some other ones like Meta, Roku, Amazon, Intel, Caterpillar, MasterCard. I already said Microsoft. Altria is going to be another one I'm going to be taking a look at. And ADP, right? You're going to have some very, 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 very big companies reporting. And on Friday, we have ExxonMobil and Chevron, which are those big energy companies, okay? So it's going to be a big earnings week. If we get through it unscathed, then I can expect the markets to keep moving up towards the upside and potentially reach maybe as high as 4,300. But my main target is probably going to be 4,200, and I'm going to start entering some shorts there. I know a lot of people are very bullish on the markets and they're expecting new all-time highs very soon, but that is just not the reality of the situation. I know we just broke out of this and we're retesting on the SPY, but man, is the volume abysmally low on the SPY. The volume has just dropped off tremendously. Like, just look at this S&P 500 volume. It is just very lackluster, almost no volume, right? If you see a big sell-off, what you want to see is a sell-off with volume. That, in my opinion, would indicate that the top is in and that we're going to see a considerable amount of selling, right? Some people think that this is going to be what's going to be happening. A breakout of 4,300, a retest, and then we're just going to head up towards new to all-time highs. Recessions don't matter, high interest rates don't matter, but that's your average retail investor that's foolish and doesn't understand anything about the markets, right? What you want to take a look at are fundamentals, the fact, the environment that we're in, and that's going to paint you a picture of where the markets are headed. And in my opinion, that's going to be towards the downside, and that's why I think that eventually Bitcoin will find its top and it will start to roll over. But is that going to be this week, right? Right now, Market Cipher is showing some pretty bearish signs on a weekly time frame, daily time frame. You have crossed back into the red money flow once again. It does not mean that we can't get a pump back up before we get our leg down, and it does not mean that this is the breakdown that's going to be happening, right? Let's say Microsoft and Google and these big tech companies completely rock the earnings, the market is going to roar higher. It's very possible that Bitcoin follows with the markets, right? All right, I think that covers basically what I've been trying to say for the last couple of weeks. I know I've reiterated this many times in my videos, but I'm just gonna keep saying it because it's just repetition, and eventually people are gonna start getting it. Let's take a look at natural gas. Natural gas, one of our darling trades right now. It is up in the after hours, up about 1%. Nothing to really talk about because usually the after hours is the wrong move, and then the next morning we see big dumps towards the downside. But in my opinion, this looks like we've completed our wave 2, and it's possible that this week we could be starting our wave 3, which is the biggest move in the Elliott wave, right? So we got your wave 1, 2, 3, and 4. I don't know why I'm not drawing it right now. Let me just get a Elliott wave out here, an impulse, right? So we got an impulsive wave 1, and then this was our wave 2. Wave 3 could potentially bring us up to like $3, and then we might get a retrace in wave 4, and then wave 5 up to $3.50. But we're gonna have to see how everything plays out, okay? So just be patient and let the markets do it. Let the markets do its thing, right? You don't want to get all stressed up and lose sleep over trades. That's not the way to go. Let's take a look at oil here. Oil, again, down a little bit at the moment. I still expect eventually, once we eventually fall into this recession and people realize it's not as small as the Fed thinks it's going to be, then I think that we will start to... Sorry, I'm just trying to delete some of these price targets I have here. I think that once the market realizes the recession is not as small as the Fed has been advertising, we are going to drop significantly lower. And if we get to $45 to $50, I think that's going to be an amazing buying opportunity for a very, very long-term hold. It could be very well a generational buying opportunity. Oil is not going anywhere. It is still extremely high demand. I know EVs and clean energy is the big talk of the town, but 90% of the energy consumed in this world is still being produced by non-renewable resources. All right. Let's take a look at gold. Gold not doing too much right now, basically flat on the overnight markets. But overall, gold does look a little bit top heavy here. It does look overbought as well, and I would expect a pullback in gold, potentially back to this trend line right here, which I have set out, which is right around 1890 to 1900. But anything under 2000 would probably be a great buy, as Peter Schiff is saying right now. Peter Schiff is very happy with this big run that we've got in gold, but right now it looks to be like a fear play, right? Because you don't see the miners, going up with the entire market. You're only seeing gold and silver go up by itself, and then the miners are not following. I think that covers it for the dollar and stuff like that. Natural gas, maybe we can run natural gas a little bit more on the indicators to show you guys what I'm talking about. So the daily time frame, you're seeing some recovery in the red money flow. That is always nice to see. On the shorter time frames, like the 4 hour, it is actually looking pretty good. You actually recovered all of that red money flow. You are getting into the green money flow, and you got a nice little green dot right here confirming a potential low for nat gas, which would be our wave 2, and now we're expecting a wave 3, which would be very, very good for anyone that's long natural gas. Obviously bad for the shorts. And let's take a look at wave edge on the weekly time frame, because the weekly time frame was just looking so incredibly bullish with all these buy signals, not only on one chart but multiple charts, right? The natural gas futures chart was receiving a significant amount of buying at the $2 level. A lot of people are expecting nat gas to go down below $1, but it makes no sense for obviously for fundamental reasons as well, for natural gas to go below $2. For just even adjusted for inflation, nat gas is supposed to be at $5. And I'm not saying that we're gonna get there right away, right? Because that's like 127% move from where we are. But overall, it is extremely oversold. It is still in extremely high demand, and I would expect a recovery back up towards at least $3 to $3.50 in the coming months and weeks, right? And that's where I'm putting my money. Let's take a look at the daily time frame. Nothing to see here on the daily. On the 4 hour, nothing to see here as well. But what I like about the weekly and the larger time frames is that you finally crossed on the MACD. You're now in the green. You're seeing these waves expand, which is nice to see. The RSI on the weekly time frame. So you can see that the futures, you actually made a tiny bit of a lower low here, but you did form a bullish divergence, right? It's a little bit more apparent on the other charts because they decay a little bit more. So you can see on Pepperstone and currency.com, you did make significantly lower lows here, and the bullish divergence held very strong throughout as well. So again, just by looking at the charts, this is looking like a bullish pattern to me. Let's take a look at the 2 week. I was just looking at the 2 week. We actually printed in a green cross as well. That's another bullish signal. I mean, I can't really go on follow the bearish case just because of how oversold an asset is. Could it continue to make new lows? Absolutely, but I think that you're bound to get a bounce before you're going to make new lows. To me, it looks like we're probably going to do something like this and then start to come back down to maybe make a lower low during the recession talks, and then finally, that's going to be another generational buying opportunity once we get to these levels. And again, there's no guarantee that we are going to get to these levels, but we're going to have to follow up with you guys in the coming weeks, and we're going to see if I'm right. All right, I think that covers it for now. We're getting a little bit of a pump in Bitcoin. We just went up to 27,730. Let's see if we continue to get this upside. It would be nice to see Bitcoin recover at least to 28,500, which is where my entry is. But overall, I think we are going to run into some resistance once we get back up to these levels here, because we have been rejected multiple times. And I think I have basically these charts that illustrate the resistance very nicely as well. Yep, there you go, 28,700, basically going to be a good amount of resistance. All right, I think that covers it for tonight, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow at the market open, and feel free to sign up with the link in the description to biggettrading.com. That's where I do all my crypto trades, and that's where I do my copy trade as well. My copy trade video tutorial has been edited finally, so I'm going to be releasing that maybe early tomorrow morning or later tonight, because I am going to be seeing the northern lights, and it happens very rarely in Canada, so it's going to be fun to see some nice things. All right, thanks for listening to my video, guys. See you all tomorrow. Love you all. Peace.